There's a very specific, almost electric kind of tension that comes with the holidays. We always picture the highlight reel, right? The fireworks, the red envelopes, the feasting, especially when we're talking about the Lunar New Year.
Oh, absolutely. But there's always that other side.
The shadow side of the reunion.
Yeah.
Exactly. The family member who asks that specific question about your job or your love life.
Oh, that one.
The neighbor who decides 3 a.m. is the perfect time for firecrackers. The sheer overwhelming proximity to other people who, let's be honest, might drive you a little crazy.
It's the pressure cooker effect. You take all these people, you put them in a room, you add expectations of joy, and you just turn up the heat.
It's a recipe for conflict.
It really is.
And that is exactly where our deep dive starts today. We are looking at a source that tackles that pressure cooker head on.
Okay.
It's a message from Pastor Huzi King titled 2026-217 Optional Responses. And before we even get into the content, the date he delivered this is...
Yep.
It's crucial.
All right, February 17th, 2026. For those not checking their lunar calendars, that corresponds to the very first day of the Lunar New Year in Taiwan.
Spring Festival.
Yep.
So set the scene. It's day one. The slate is supposed to be clean. The air is thick with celebration, incense, and, expectation. And into this, Pastor Hugh drops a framework for conflict resolution. That is, it's rigorous.
It's not just a, hey, let's all get along platitude.
No, it's almost a mathematical breakdown of human interaction.
It really is an operating system update for how we handle conflict. The mission of this deep dive is to unpack the 3 standards of living he proposes. It's a fascinating look at why our default settings, revenge, fairness, settling the score, might actually be holding us back from that fresh start we say we want.
And what I love about this source is that it doesn't shy away from the ugly stuff. It acknowledges that sometimes people are just toxic. It's pragmatic.
It's very realistic.
So let's get into it. The source outlines 3 distinct standards of living, 3 ways you can exist in the world.
Think of them as like rungs on a ladder, or maybe different layers of psychological maturity.
Right. You've got the basement, the ground floor, and the penthouse.
Exactly.
Okay, let's start in the basement. The source calls this Satan's standard.
Or, to define it by behavior, repaying good with evil.
This one actually stopped me in my tracks.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about conflict, we usually talk about someone punching back. But this is different.
Oh, it's very different.
This is someone handing you a gift and you punching them in the face.
It is the definition of pure malice. It's irrational destruction. The source labels it Satan's standard because in that theological framework, it's the opposite of creation or order.
It's chaos.
Total chaos. It's taking kindness, which should naturally elicit gratitude, and meeting it with betrayal or harm.
It feels like, I don't know, troll culture almost. Or that quote from the Batman movie, some men just want to watch the world burn.
That's a great comparison. It's chaotic. Think about the coworker who you help finish a project and they turn around and tell the boss you were slacking off. Or a partner who responds to affection with cruelty. It's a chaotic force. Now, most of us look at this standard and say, well, I'm not a Disney villain, I don't do that.
We'd hope not. But the source moves us up to the next rung, and this is where it gets sticky. This is where I think, 99% of the world lives?
This is the human standard.
The default factory setting for humanity.
Yep. The definition is repaying good with good and evil with evil.
Reciprocity.
Exactly. It's transactional. It's the logic of the marketplace and, frankly, the playground. You invite me to dinner, I owe you a dinner. You insult me.
I owe you an insult.
Right.
And the source references the famous eye for an eye passage here, Matthew 5. But he points out something interesting, that eye for an eye isn't necessarily about wild revenge. It's actually about fairness.
It's about limits and equity. In ancient law, eye for an eye was actually a way to stop escalation. If you take my eye, I can't take your life. I can only take your eye.
It's a containment strategy.
Exactly. And that's why it feels so incredibly fair to the human mind. It satisfies our deep biological craving for balance.
It's Newton's third law for relationships. For every action, an equal and opposite reaction. And honestly, we call this justice.
We do. In business and law,
Yeah.
If you break the contract, you pay the fine. It feels correct.
It works for contracts. It works for legal systems. The problem, according to Pastor Hugh's analysis, is that it doesn't work for the human soul.
Why not? If it's fair, what's the issue?
Because it keeps you trapped in a cycle of reaction. You are constantly letting the other person dictate your behavior.
Okay, say more about that.
Think about it. If they are mean, you are mean. If they are nice, you are nice.
Yeah.
You have no autonomy. You're just a mirror reflecting whatever's in front of you.
You aren't acting, you're just reacting.
That is a haunting way to put it. You're just a mirror. I don't want to be a mirror.
No, you want to be the driver. And the source argues that while this human standard is natural, it's not the ceiling, it's just the middle ground.
Which brings us to the third standard, the one the whole message pivots around.
God's standard.
Repaying evil with good.
Which just, it makes no sense mathematically.
None. Zero.
Not in the short term. The source references 1 Peter 3.9 and points to Jesus as the archetype of this behavior. The idea is absorbing the blow and returning a blessing. But we have to ask the obvious question here.
Oh, I'm thinking it. Because to a modern ear, this sounds like standard 3, be a doormat.
Right.
If I repay evil with good, aren't I just enabling the bad guy? Aren't I teaching them that they can treat me like garbage and I'll bake them cookies?
That is the critical pushback. It feels weak. But the source answers this with a very specific concept that reframes it completely. He talks about inheriting a blessing.
Break that down for us. Because blessing can be a vague word.
The argument is that this interaction isn't about the horizontal relationship, you and the person who wronged you. It's about a vertical relationship. The source suggests that when you choose to repay evil with good, you are triggering a spiritual transaction. You aren't doing it to change the other person.
You're doing it to unlock something for yourself.
Exactly. It's enlightened self-interest, in a way.
So wait.
The source argues that mercy is cyclical. If you show mercy when you have the right to show vengeance, you are positioning yourself to receive mercy from God. It's shifting the venue of the court case.
From a human court, where you might win a petty argument, to a divine court, where you win a blessing.
That puts a totally different spin on it.
You're not letting them off the hook, you're putting yourself on a different hook, a better one.
Precisely. And there's a phrase the source uses about spiritual abundance increasing through persecution. It's this idea that when people come against you, it's actually an opportunity.
That feels very counterintuitive. Usually persecution or stress. It just depletes us. It burns us out.
Think of it like the concept of anti-fragility, or even just weightlifting. You can't build muscle without tearing the fiber a little bit. You need resistance. The source cites church history, martyrs, people who went through immense pressure. The claim is that their spiritual capacity expanded because they had to lift the heavy weight of forgiveness.
So the jerk at the office isn't just an annoyance. He's my spotter. He's adding weight to the bar so I can get stronger.
It's a radical reframing, but yes.
Yeah.
But there's a nuance here I don't want to miss. The source mentions a dual benefit. There's the long game heaven, glory, the future reward. But Pastor Hugh explicitly argues for a present benefit.
A payout right now.
Yes. He argues that the act of blessing an enemy releases you from the poison of resentment immediately. It creates a space of peace in your own life that the human standard can never provide.
That makes so much sense. If I'm plotting revenge, I'm carrying that person around in my head all day. They're living rent-free.
Right, you're in the shower arguing with them.
Totally. So repaying with good is like serving them an eviction notice.
That's a great analogy. It breaks the tether. If you hate them, you're tied to them. If you bless them and move on, you're free.
Okay, so that's the theory. And I buy it, intellectually. But the source doesn't let us stay in the clouds. He forces the listener to look in the mirror.
The self-reflection questions. These were uncomfortable to read, I won't lie.
Which one stood out to you?
The first one. Is there a relationship where neither side is willing to take the first step toward reconciliation?
Oof, yeah. The stalemate. The Cold War in the living room.
I'm not calling him until he calls me.
Right. We hold out for the other person to break first. And then the source asks, what is the cost you have to pay to take that step this week?
I love the use of the word cost, because it is expensive. It's not free to be the bigger person.
Yeah, that's a currency. What are we paying with?
Pride, ego, the intense satisfaction of being right.
Exactly. To operate on God's standard, you have to be willing to spend your pride. You have to be willing to lose the argument to win the relationship, or at least to win your own peace.
And then he asks another one that hit me.
Which one?
When was the last time you actually repaid evil with good?
That's a data point question.
It is. I tried to answer it, and I realized most of my good deeds were just reciprocity. I was nice to people who were nice to me.
Yeah. If you have to go back 10 years to find an example, or if you can't think of one at all, it's a strong indicator that you are operating on the human standard.
Which is fine, it's normal, but the source is inviting you to something higher.
Okay, but here's the objection I think a lot of listeners might have. We're talking about enemies.
Yeah.
And when we say enemy, I think of, I don't know, a movie villain, the Joker.
Right, we dramatize the word, but the source clarifies this beautifully. Most of our enemies aren't trying to destroy the world, they are just annoying or careless.
The unintentional offender.
Yes. The source talks about people who are overly sensitive or who accumulate resentment. You know the type people who keep a mental spreadsheet of every slight you've ever committed since 2004?
Resentment hoarders. They have a warehouse of grudges.
And sometimes the enemy is a family member who just rubs you the wrong way, or a friend who forgot your birthday. The source warns that if we aren't careful, we turn these people into enemies in our hearts.
We start attributing malice to what is often just incompetence.
Or a different personality. But then the source does pivot to the hard cases, because let's be real, some people are toxic.
They really are. Some
Yeah.
people do want to hurt you.
Yeah.
What does the God standard look like then? Do we just keep taking the hits?
This is where I think the source is most surprising. It offers a strategy for the impossible people, the people where reconciliation just seems hopeless.
Okay, walk us through that strategy.
Step 1 is internal. Do not hate.
Easier said than done.
But look at the reasoning. It's not don't hate because it's naughty, it's don't hate because it kills you. He describes hatred as a stressor that damages your own well-being. It's the old saying, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
So, step 1 is self-preservation. Stop the internal bleeding.
Correct. But step 2 is the one that really caught my attention. It's titled separation.
Which feels contradictory. If we're supposed to love our enemies, shouldn't we be inviting them over for coffee?
You would think. But Pastor Who quotes a proverb here. If they are good friends, walk together. If they are bad friends, go your separate ways. He calls it the bad friend rule.
That is incredibly refreshing. It sounds like permission to set boundaries.
It is. The source makes a crucial distinction. If you cannot love them yet, if being around them causes you to stumble or to get angry or to hate them, then the holiest thing you can do is stay away.
Avoidance is better than retaliation.
Exactly. So distance can be a form of mercy.
It can. If I know that seeing you will make me say something cruel, then staying away from you is an act of kindness. It protects both of us.
It's not canceling the person, it's recognizing your own limitations.
I think that's a huge relief for people who feel guilt-tripped into staying in toxic relationships under the guise of forgiveness.
You can forgive from a distance, you can wish them well from way over there.
And that leads to step 3.
Self-examination versus divine justice.
This is the cleanup phase.
Right. If the conflict is your fault, repent. Own it, don't spin it. But if it is not your fault,
You hand the case over to the Supreme Court.
you vacate the bench. The source says, ask the Lord to avenge you personally. Now that sounds dramatic, but the core idea is letting go of the need to be the executioner.
It's trusting that there is a moral arc to the universe, and you don't have to push it yourself.
It's the ultimate let go and let God, but it requires so much trust. It requires believing that justice isn't just something you can manufacture.
And that ties back perfectly to the context we started with. Why was this message delivered on the first day of the Lunar New Year?
The New Year Thanksgiving service at Beipu Church.
Right. Think about the traditions of that holiday. What do you do before the New Year?
You clean, you sweep the dust out, you throw away the broken stuff.
You don't want to carry the old year's dirt into the new year.
And the source is applying that same logic to our psychology. He mentions the church's motto for 2026, gospel to be spread widely, expand God's kingdom.
Which sounds like a big external goal.
But he connects it to the internal state. You can't expand the kingdom. You can't do big positive things in the world if your internal house is cluttered with old grudges.
You can't invite guests into a dirty house.
Exactly. He calls for cleaning out the old heart.
Right.
He wants the listeners to start the year with a broad heart.
I really like that image, a broad heart. What does that look like to you?
It implies bandwidth. It implies capacity. A narrow heart gets clogged by one offense. One rude comment blocks the whole artery.
A broad heart has space. It can absorb the imperfections of others, the enemies, the annoyances, without losing its own rhythm.
It's resilient. It's not brittle.
And that is the wish the source has for the listener, to have a year of peace and joy. And the argument is that peace isn't found in getting everyone to treat you right.
That's never going to happen.
We can't control that.
No. Peace is found in having a standard of living that is independent of how others treat you.
It's taking back your power.
Yeah.
If I only have a good day when everyone is nice to me, I'm going to have a lot of bad days.
Right.
But if I can have a good day even when people are enemies, well, I'm invincible.
That's the optional response. The title isn't just a label, it's a promise. You have options. You don't have to hit back. You don't have to get even.
You can choose the third way. So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's do a quick recap. We've got the ladder of standards. Rung 1, Satan's standard repaying good with evil.
Pure destruction.
Rung 2, the human standard repaying evil with evil. Fairness. Transactional. The trap most of us live in.
Yeah.
And rung 3, God's standard repaying evil with good. The counterintuitive path that breaks the cycle and unlocks a blessing.
And remember the strategy for the impossible people. Don't hate for your own sake. Separate if you need to. And let the higher power handle the justice.
So here is the thought I want to leave you with, listeners. And I want you to really visualize this. Think about that one relationship that is stuck. You know the one.
We all have at least one.
The name that made your stomach tighten a little bit just now. You are probably waiting for them to fix it. You're waiting for the apology. You're waiting for fairness. But based on what we've heard today, what if you decided to lose?
Lose the battle to win the war.
Exactly. What if you decided that being right is too expensive? What if you decided to clean that grudge out of your house, just like you sweep the dust for the new year? What if you treated them not as they deserve, but as you wish to be treated?
It's a risky investment. You might get burned.
You might.
Yeah.
But according to Pastor Hugh, it's the only investment that guarantees a return. Not necessarily from them, but from the universe, from God, from your own peace of mind.
It's high risk, high reward for the soul.
So go do some spring cleaning on that heart of yours. Thanks for diving in with us.
See you next time.